Every day you wake up, everything's on the line.
Every day.
So there is no difference. It's more so you have to be so confident in the research you've done that you're just taking a gamble on yourself.
Right.
My daughter's 4 and she can use a debit card. She can, like, she can, like, like she can go pay at the till, like, like, so I'm ingraining it to her early so that way money's not a taboo topic.
Yeah.
And then also you don't go to that, like, I could just waste the stage, like you're going to value it because it's been ingrained in you for so long. It's scary. Like, oh, this is my, last $10,000, last $1,000, whatever. Who going to risk it for you?
All right, you guys, we're back with another episode. And if you guys remember, we had Jaques on here from the past. So go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
I'm Jaques. Everybody calls me JQ. Just the people's people person, I guess. Know everybody, know a little bit of everything.
Okay, so he's gonna be very humble throughout, but we're gonna show you guys how extraordinary he is and what he does and manages a life of being a millennial dad, working a job, having, creating stable income and discipline with investing, real estate, side hustles, delayed gratification, long-term thinking, and not really having like gimmicks behind it, right? These are like staple sound mindsets that you've implemented over the years. And even from last time we spoke on the podcast to now, like there's been a lot of change from then to now, right? You know what I'm saying? Just over the past few years. So we got to start quick for those that don't know the backstory. What was the initial mindset around money and your environment when you were a kid? And then where did that take you to thinking, growing up in high school and middle school and college and everything? Like, I want to either maintain this life or I want to change my whole life and create something different for my future. So,
money as a kid, it was interesting. It was ebbs and flows. There were seasons where we went with a lot, and there were seasons where we had to scale it back. And so I understood it at an early age, just out of necessity. But I would say as I grew up, I just, funding, like when we started buying our own shoes and just started doing our own thing, like it was my responsibility. It wasn't, So
you had to like cop your own kicks like in middle school and stuff, or like after like when you got to high school? When was that like level?
It was high school and college. It's like once I really started paying for my own stuff. Like my brother would always buy me shoes and stuff, but for me, I started paying like what I wanted in high school versus what I would just get. Like if you give me something, I'm grateful, but if I wanted something, it was on me. And then, but yeah, so I seen it, and then going to college. Even having a scholarship, all little things like, so I got a full ride. So then, money was important, but
was it more of a necessity to get the full ride, or?
Without a doubt. So it wouldn't, it's crazy. Like getting that scholarship, it just had to happen because I didn't have no backup.
So if you didn't get the scholarship, what was going to happen? Coming out of high school, going to college. There's probably no college?
I don't know. Probably not.
So you're like, I'm everything is in right here. I have to get this scholarship.
Because I'm thinking business by that point already. And so it would have just been figure out the path to go get money. Above board, obviously, like going to build a business or whatever that looked like. But that wasn't the case. So then going to college and then getting internships that paid really well, it changed how I seen money, because now I'm 19 making more than, a lot of people prospectively. But it was, it just showed me like, age doesn't equate to like how much money you could get.
Right.
And then it was just those short stints that showed me like, just those couple of summers that I worked in college. Like, okay, like it kind of set the floor. Like, you like, okay, like if I've made this before, then that means I can come out of here and have a baseline because I've actually made it, like I'm not just asking for this. Like I've actually, and it just so happened that when I came out of college, I was making more than what I was making, obviously. But it just turned like, getting into the career of it, it was like, it was a stable income already, that was above average.
So was that a job that you like wanted, or was it kind of just like you saw the opportunity and you're like, shit, I'll take it. This looks cool. Like we'll figure it out from here. It's got some solid benefits.
Nah, well, I didn't know about it till the first internship when I
Okay.
went to go do the test run of like just figuring. Had no idea it existed, and so then leaving college, it was like, well, on the end of college, it was like I really enjoyed working. You know what I'm saying, like the environment and everything, like, and so I was like, okay, like, like I could go out here into the free world and go find something that I don't know what it's like, or I can go back and see if they'll have me back and see if I can grow in there. So I went back on a temp intern, like a temp right after graduation for 3 months, and then I ended up getting offered the full-time position. And so that that came with another level of income because it came with an increase, and so it just as life progressed, it just took me to new levels to understand money from that level.
So with that, like we're all in college, we're all doing the stuff, but like sometimes people are getting out of college and they still don't got it figured out. Or a lot of times, right? And when did you kind of realize like people don't have their big picture figured out?
I would say the fact that we travel so much and seen so much of the world, it gave us a big picture to start with. Like seeing these other countries and seeing how people lived and seeing, you see the extremities on both sides. Like we've seen poverty, and we've seen the rich and famous and everything in between. And so seeing everything, both ends of the spectrum, it helps put things in perspective.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, like I knew like after college it would just get to it. It wasn't no like take some time off and figure like take my summer. No, it was like we left. Remember leaving graduation to go look at the apartment that I ended up moving into?
Yeah.
Like, and then that Monday, I literally graduated on like a Saturday. We went to go check out the apartment that I moved into that same afternoon after graduation. And then that Monday I started work. So I didn't take and I've been working ever, so it's like from the day I walked across the stage, it was like hit the ground running. It wasn't, like let me figure it out.
So in that time, what was some of the biggest mistakes you made financially, during that high school, college era before you got into like, hitting the ground running, working?
See, like in those eras, I didn't make enough to make enough big mistakes. Like the big mistakes don't come until you really start to see,
Right.
So it was like.
But in the moment, they feel big.
Oh, like if that's the case, like, well, the thing
like
is,
you got the perspective now, but then it was like this shit is rough. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like buying fakes and stuff, like that, like hundreds of thousands, just on stuff that like like that kind of stuff. And buying a lot of things that didn't hold value. Because I mean, if we go back, I could have just bought Bitcoin.
Right.
I mean, but I'm not saying that, but like, I'll just put it in perspective. Like, even having limited money at the time, it probably could have spent it better. But when you don't have any framework. Like we were building it as we went. There were like, don't get me wrong, like there are people that gave us input, but we were just a whole new generation, and like life was just different. Like we was flipping the shoes and making buku, like all the stuff that came with it. And so it's like, okay, well, I can hear what you're saying, but this is a whole different walk of life out here than when you were out here.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, the lessons still apply. Things don't change, but it's more so like we have more moving parts. We had the internet, we had social media, we had forums, we had all the things that like when you think about business and everything around money, like we had the tools they didn't have. So like we could take it further.
That makes sense. So when you got out, you got the apartment, but what was the timeline on getting the house? Was that in mind already? Did you have to like use your focus on building up work taxes and everything? Like where were you at with that?
None of that. I really got an apartment and I was like, okay, this is my own spot. Like so I was really cooling, and then I like working and as like in the real estate, like around appraisal and all of that, like I was seeing houses and I'm like, oh, okay, like that's cool. Like I'm like, cause this is 2015. I graduated 2014. So this is 2014, 2015. And the houses are still affordable comparatively, like.
Right, yeah.
Like my first house was $230, like.
Yeah, you can find houses in the 200, low 200s.
Yeah, and so like, but at the time it was more so like I was intrigued by the houses, but had no, like, I wasn't saving for no down payment or nothing.
Okay.
It was more so like, I want a house, but how can I do this? Like, you know, like how I bought the house, I didn't plan that out all the way. It just happened to work out that way. But I think because I took the action and started looking was kind of what, you know, and then going to the homebuyer class with AJ. Like we just randomly went to the home buying class, and that changed everything. Like when I heard him say 0 down, I said, oh, hell no. And then, you know, so like it changed. Like I was like, okay, so I found a way to get the money. Now I got to go find the house.
Okay.
And then I kind of got to bridge it by, you know, like kind of bringing it together.
So it wasn't like a aggressive start coming out, right? Like you're like figuring out on the right path, not like taking steps back, but you was like kind of getting to it, and then eventually, you know, because when did you get your house? 2016, 2017?
Yep.
So, you know, it wasn't a long period of time after, year and a half, something like that. Like,
yeah. I think I renewed my lease one time, so like a 2 years probably.
Okay. So it wasn't too big of a gap of like 8 years, 10 years, nothing like that. So during that as well, you weren't married yet.
Nope.
Didn't have kids yet.
Nope.
And you were staying at the apartment. So were you into stock investing, doing all that stuff? Were you aggressive with it? Did you know about that side of the game? Were you building out that blueprint of life insurance and all that stuff happening? Was this something that was on your radar? Did that come later?
The only thing I had established was...
Have you been posting, staying consistent, trying all the strategies that you've heard online, and still not making the consistent money that you need? It's not because you're not working hard enough. It's because someone hasn't helped you build a plan that works for your specific situation. You know that Sunday night feeling when you close the tabs and you're like, I feel like I'm further behind than when I started. It's like everyone else is building something real, and for some reason, I'm the problem. I can't get to where I want to be. Don't worry, you're not. I've helped people go from zero side income to multi six figures, from no audience to 600,000 followers, and from complete beginner to sold out product, using the same repeatable frameworks that every one of my members get access to. In my private investors club, you get access to the consistent cash flow system, a structured video training, weekly live Q&A calls with me personally, and a real community that holds each other accountable. The goal is simple: your first consistent $1,000 month. I capped this VIP group at 50 members, and not for scarcity, but to actually make sure I give you guys the exact attention that you need. And if you show up for the first 4 calls and don't make any measurable improvements in the first 30 days, I'll work with you one-on-one until you do, or give you a full refund. This founding member's price locks in for life and will go up after the cohort closes. Click the link in my bio to join the VIP group in the Investors Club, and I'll see you guys on the inside.
The only thing I had established was credit.
Okay.
Like, so I've had credit since college, and then, like, you know, just having lines of credit and all the, you know, credit history and age and all that stuff. But outside of that, in my investments, when I started working, it just auto invested, like, you know, just takes it out and puts it into retirement accounts. But everything outside of that, not really. I mean, not really until like that first crypto phase, like when the Bitcoin, you know, not
like
first
2018, something like that.
That was like, so yeah, I was some years out before I started really looking.
Okay.
And then that I just learned about that on a graveyard shift, working a job, and I'm like, so that's when I started buying like these altcoins and ETH and all of that. And
so you were working your main job and a different job?
This was for like a few, like literally like a season.
Okay.
I was working graveyard at the gym.
Okay.
It's like literally it was like a few months. But
what made you pick that up?
Honestly, I think they needed employment, and it was more so like, I'll take the extra money here. You know, like I'm not, you know, I didn't have as many responsibilities. You know, it's like okay, like this time I'm not using this time not any better, but you know, like, but it was great taking it, because now that I have to stay up, I'm like listening to these podcasts, I'm listening about crypto.
Yeah, it's like you getting paid to learn damn near.
I'm setting up like all my Coinbase, all the stuff that I just learned in that era. So then that kind of transpired over into like stocks, and then when the pandemic happened, that was when it was like, okay, I had some feet because I understood it. Yeah. It wasn't like I was creating anything from the beginning.
That makes sense. I like that. So, just based off of what you know now and what you were going through then, what would you have done to accelerate your process? Whether it was like in college or fresh out of college.
I don't think I could have did anything differently, only because it's like, it was all learned, you know, like there was no blueprint, none of this was mapped out.
So maybe just learning earlier, like trying to get more aggressive and learning sooner at like 19 or 20 while you're in college still?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it would have benefited, but I think the lessons of blowing through the money helped me more.
Okay.
It would just kind of sound counterproductive.
No, yeah, I feel that though.
Like I feel like sometimes people can not go through that stage and then get large lump sums and then go through it at a later stage in life when it's more pivotal than when you're younger and you got some recoup, you know, like us being 20 and 21 and spending all, you know, like traveling, doing all that stuff. Like I would spend that money again before I would invest that money because of what I took from those experiences. It's like, it's not monetary, but it's more like, you know, it shapes how you see life.
Right.
And so it's like, you know, so I mean, I could have put all of that in the S&P and it could be up, but you know, like, but it's like, you know, those experiences matter more than, you know, what I would have made in gains, because I can make that now, plus I got the experiences, you know.
Right. What do you think people underestimate the most about having a 9-to-5, right? So I disconnect with that because I never had a 9-to-5. I just, you know, worked a little bit at the restaurant in high school and that was it. So that's why I got you here to tell me. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't think it's bad.
I mean, no, it's not. Especially with the number one reason it's not bad is if you can get a job with benefits, it gives you a level of security.
So what do you mean by benefits for the people?
Even just like health insurance, like if you get health insurance, retirement, all of that stuff, that's a bonus. But just health insurance, like, and it's not, it's a
for you and the family.
Yeah, well, yeah, it covers everybody
Right.
and it covers everything. Like, especially depending on where you work. But like, if you can get a good benefits package, even if you have to contribute to it, it's way cheaper than the open market rates.
Right.
And so it's like, you know, like as you're just progressing through life and life happens, it's like, you know, like it's a you know, peace of mind. And so I think that's that, and then like a work environment that you actually like being in. You know, like if you're at work and they're degrading you and this is just not, you know, like there is there's no room for growth. You're not, you know, you can't, you know, see the end, and like then that's a whole different environment, which is, you know, not.
And also, I feel like with your work, you can also like be done with work for the day and not be having to work until the next day.
Oh yeah, no, it's
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like it's like I'm clocked out. Like it's not like, oh, I'm working and then I'm still working when I get home or doing some other stuff on the weekend or whatever. Like
yeah, no, it's a like a light switch. You can just flick it.
Right.
And I think that matters too. But it's also like if you like your work environment, you go, you know what I'm saying, like you like the people you work with and all that kind of stuff, it's different. Like, so when you wake up, you're not like, oh, I gotta go, you know, like it's not like a drag versus like, okay, like I don't like you know, this place, I don't like, you know, whatever whatever the situation is. It's like now you wake up and you don't even have the energy to get to it. So it can be a drain, but just if that's your reality. Yeah. But it was like mine just so happened to be that it worked in my favor, that I like it, and I like the people and I like what I do, and you know I've been there so long, you know, you learn all these things and get to just develop stuff. So it's like, you know, that's my difference. But I mean, if you don't like the job, and you don't get any benefits and there is nothing, you know, like it can be a problem.
So, okay, we got a little bit about the backstory. We got an understanding of that, kind of where the mindset was at and where it was going. Now it's like, let's talk about the money. Let's talk about the bag. Let's talk about creating the security. Let's talk about all those things, right? Like that's what a lot of people are going to get from this as well. So the biggest thing, which I also think is like a superpower to the 9-to-5, is like consistency on income with a salary or whatever it may be. If you got regular income, using that with taxes and everything, going the traditional way. You didn't really have too many issues with that. That gave you a lot of confidence when it comes to like lending and everything. At that point, it's like, come up with the down payment, cash or not, or whatever the scenario is, but it makes it a lot easier and a smoother ride on that part.
And even getting like pre-approved, typically like they said they want you to have 2 years tax returns. I was only a year working, but because I had went through college when I graduated.
From your internship?
So when I graduated from college, they let me use that as my additional year I needed for like that plus my year of work. So like they'll say,
because like as a student year.
And exactly. I got you. But they let me count that to qualify for the loan. So I was pre-approved a year out. It just took that time to figure, you know, like to find the place, the extra half a year to kind of get it all together.
Okay. That makes
so it's
sense.
like, but yeah, no, it for sure. I mean, it's definitely, it helps. I mean, don't get me wrong, like getting a loan and finance and all of that stuff, it's a hurdle. Like
What are some common hurdles that you see or experience from yourself or have heard from other people when it comes to like getting their first property, especially like in their 20s?
never seeing your credit report. I mean,
Yeah.
like you can see your Credit Karma, which tell you a little bit, but it's not enough. So it's like not telling you your mortgage scores. It's not telling you like
I always download the FICO app. You got to pay like $20 a month or something like that. But you only need it for like a few months and you just cancel the subscription.
Yeah.
But when I do that, it's a lot closer and more accurate when it's like time to make the moves. That helps you get like all the ratings for like what you need depending on the type of loans and everything. And it updates better, faster on there. So for me, that's what's been helping along the way when I've done stuff in the past of like, oh, where am I exactly at? Where do I need to be?
But most people look at Credit Karma and just assume that that's gonna get them in, and like then they realize their score is completely different, and they got things on their credit. So it's like you got to know where you're at first before you can go anywhere, because might got some stuff to clear up. Like it's oftentimes like, okay, like even if you paid this stuff, it's like you need to go prove this, so now it's not against you, because that now it affects how much you can go get for a loan. It affects all of that kind of portion. So it's like,
and it's not immediate. Like if you were to clear up something, it might take 30, 60 days, 90 days for something to like bump your score to get it where it needs to be at. And that might like slow your process down. You're trying to buy a house, but now you can't because you're waiting to get the right rate that you want to make the right payment. And you're so hyped about this home, but then it's a hot home. So it sells in that meantime while you're waiting. And now you got to go look for another one.
Yeah, that happens often. But I mean, if you can do all of this work on the front end before you go look at houses, now you're not missing out on the opportunity. So it's like, that's why you get your credit pulled, you figure out where you're at, you figure out, you get with your lender to find out what they want you to do, what they want your DTI to be, like your debt to income, and how much debt they want you to pay off, and what your payments could be. So you go do that research before you look at any house, because it's like, to find a house that you really love and not to even be pre-approved, it's going to do you a disservice, especially if it's the first house.
So speaking of that, find a house that you really love, you're ready to go, but you're now in this mindset of big picture before you even bought the house? Or is it after you got the house, then the big picture came? Because I feel like you knew that wasn't going to be your forever home.
Yeah.
Right? So, but the question was like, how big of the picture did you see then compared to once you got in?
I think you see the bigger picture once you feel equity. Okay. So like once it's like, equity's not tangible until you cash out, but it's like once you can look at the numbers and your appraisal comes in and you got equity on paper, now you start to see, like, coming in, it's like, okay, this is, it's big because it's your biggest purchase in life most times.
Right. You're like, I just signed a document that
30 years
longer than I've been alive.
For sure.
Right.
But like now, so on the flip side of it, it's but once you get in there and now you've been there a few years, you updated some stuff, you did some cosmetic work, whatever it may be, or even just, the homes start selling even higher, they just start to go up in price every year in your area. Now you have this equity that it doesn't exist. I mean, it exists on paper. The bank sees it. We all see it. But you can't touch it unless you go get a loan against it, or unless you sell the home.
Right.
Or, do something of that nature. So I think just once you get into that point, and like, because mine was a condo and I sold it because I didn't want a HOA, it would have worked as I could have rented it out, but I didn't want to deal with them. And like, just, it's a small board, and, we didn't see eye to eye. And so it's like, am I trying to sign up, in this structure? And so I got rid of it, but it let me, buy my next place. But doing that is where you see the bigger picture, because it's just an evolution of like, okay, I got a nice place, starting out, and I have a nicer place, but it's like, okay, like, there's nicer. So it's like, you could see
you'll be here, level up for a little bit, go somewhere else.
Precisely.
Yeah. Also, during this time, you're in a position where you got disposable income, but it's not like I got enough cash to go be buying 3 new cars and doing crazy stuff and, having $10,000, $15,000 trips and stuff. But it does give you the room to still go on vacations, still buy the hot drops, the new sneakers that was coming out, like all this stuff, and be selective about that? What was your mindset behind managing the extracurricular activities and the unnecessary sneaker pickups and all the other stuff, but still you wanted it for your own, you know, sentimental reasons or whatever? How did you like balance that and create like, you know, I don't know how do you explain it, but you know, how did you balance that?
I didn't. It just before I got, well, now I do, but before you find the extremes of, well, I found the extremes of how far I wanted to take it.
Okay.
And then once I got to that point, I would scale back. So like I would go buy all the shoes I wanted, and then one day I would just stop, and I just wouldn't buy another. And so it's like I would just flip the switch. So like it's like, you know, then it's like, okay, I can travel as much throughout the year as I want to, but now I, you know, flip the switch, and now it's okay. Now I have to plan this, and not, you know, it's like it just puts, you know, like it turned from a point of like, how far does this go? How far can I take this where I'm at with the bandwidth now? And that's in all the areas. So once I've discovered, like, you know, this is my fence line of how far to take it, I reeled it back, and then, you know, now I can, you know, I can go in any direction because I know how, you know, and I can go farther now, obviously, but I know what it looks like.
Okay. So it wasn't like I'm going all in, spending my last dollar, but at the same time, I'm going to spend a little extra copping the new drops or getting whatever I need, or, you know, whatever it is that you buy, your Louis bags or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Stay fresh.
Yo, DNA fam, I know you guys are into sneakers, so I'm going to assume that you're into investing as well, which means you're probably also interested in leveling up your life. I think you definitely need to check this out. I just launched my DNA show community. Inside, I've dropped my entire Hobby to Hustle program, and I've helped tons of people turn their passions into profit. This is going to be a place where sneakerheads can connect, share game, and grow together. So don't wait, hit the link down below in the description to get instant access, and I'll see you guys on the inside so we can run it up.
Now you have the first house, you then remodeled it, sold it, moved to the next house, and you're building equity in that right off rip once you remodeled that one too. And then how are you seeing the next part of the picture in the play with now rolling in, getting married, having kids, still in your 20s, later mid 20s at this point, right? All this stuff is rolling in. What's your mindset as the dad, the father of the household, all the experience of you seen from growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, and what you want to change and be a example as?
I would say I would say for me, the biggest thing, the shift is it goes from you being responsible for you to then you to be responsible for other people. And, you know.
So like you and fiance, you and wife.
And then like the kids.
And then kids come after.
For sure. So like that, the level, every time you feel like, okay, like I feel like I'm being responsible right now, it just gets deeper. So it's like, oh wait. Because like, wait, when you got married, like now, like you have a responsibility to provide with the things your wife needs from you, right?
Right.
But she's an adult, and she, you know, like she can function and do everything, you know, so you got some assistance in getting there.
Right.
But when you bring kids into the picture, it's like, okay, it's okay, this from scratch. Like they don't have so,
they can't help shit. Like all I gotta do is help them, plus do other,
And so then that part of it, the protection side, to provide, to teach and all of that. But then the monetary side is where, you know, I learned about all these accounts, like just, you know, watching my podcast and everything. And so I'm like, okay, well, I don't want the college to be, you have to get a scholarship, you know, like how my situation was,
right?
was like do or die.
Yeah, like I'll be able to take care of it when your time comes.
For sure. So that's
whatever we've invested in.
That's why I'm like, that's why I went and got a 529 account. So I'm like, okay.
So explain to people what the 529 account is and when you like how you set it up. So
the crazy part is I opened a lot of different accounts through different brokerages at different times in life. So I was spread out through 6 or 7 different brokerages, like 5, probably 6 maybe, of like, you know, Fidelity, like M1, all these different places where the money, because I would find out about it. I would find out who got an easy brokerage to, you know, that I can use, and I would go open it with them. Okay. And so like whatever I felt like they were whatever I feel like they were good at, I would go use them for that.
Okay.
And so, like when I got the 529, it's an education account. So like right now, I can go buy an ETF. I can go buy VU, and I can go buy it. And let's say I'm buying it every month for 18 years.
You can put ETFs in regular stocks or just ETFs?
Yeah, it's a brokerage account. So
Okay,
yeah, so
whatever.
It's just,
Okay.
I mean, but if it depends on who you go through, because
Okay.
some brokerages make you buy like their,
Specific,
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
but if you have like an open one, like you can buy.
Okay.
So
you picked the open one that gave you options?
Exactly. So like I can buy VU every month for 18 years.
Okay.
And then anytime while I'm buying it, all of the profits or all of the money in there, like the profits and the money, I can take draws out of it and use it towards education expenses for anyone in my household that I make at like pretty much because you assign the 529 and it can cover everybody. They're just all like the I can't even think of the term right now, but essentially not payees, but they're all covered within it. So like they're dependents of the 529.
I got you.
So like if my wife wants to go to school, she could, and we can just take money out if I.
But it's in. So it's okay. I got you. But it's not in one person's name.
No, it can. You could if you only have one kid and nobody else wants it.
Okay.
You could do that.
I got you.
Or you can put everybody on it, and then even like housing expenses. So like if they get to college, you can take withdrawals on your profits to pay for like the housing.
Okay. And then the tax side of that.
I haven't got to that point yet in like realizing it. So it's like the kids are so young that, and also it can change. Like the rules can change but what I realize is it's like it's a tax advantage to do it this way because how it's currently structured, it's like you're not paying, like the profits you're taking, as long as you're allocating it to that, you're not paying like a capital gains on a full profit of it.
Okay.
Like, so like if I go to my brokerage account and take my profits out, then I have to pay those capital gains taxes, like, with taxes. But this way, it's like you essentially are taking profits and allocating it to education or the betterment, so it's like a way to use your profits for what you was going to use it for anyway. But it just has to be a direct correlation between.
And this is like even valid for like if you wanted to put them in like a private school, in grade school, middle school, high school, whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
And like computers, anything that's school related.
Okay.
Like you want to take, and so it's like.
And you just like submit a receipt or something?
So it's essentially like as you take it, when you do all your filings, you have to put it all together to show.
Oh, okay, for
like,
later for taxes.
Exactly.
I got you.
So because you're gonna say, well, yeah, like they'll still send you like your tax paperwork, but you're just showing that it was what you did with it and how it applies, and also your brokerage might make you submit the documents to them, showing so that way they don't charge you for it.
Okay, makes sense. So you got that set up.
Yep.
First child born. Did you have like? How did you do that? Do you put monthly? Do you put money in there monthly? Did you just put a lump sum initially? Like, what's your strategy behind that?
Just monthly. I just let them take draws.
And what is a realistic number that somebody should shoot for to do monthly for something like that you can still afford with your lifestyle and everything?
I started with $50.
Okay.
And it was just more.
So $50 a month.
Mm-hmm. And it was because I had all that, like my daughter also had a brokerage account, just like a traditional stock account.
Right.
But it's like, so essentially it's an UPMA account. And so it's her account, but I'm the overseer. And then once she turns 21, it becomes fully hers. Like
21, not 18.
18, she'll have access.
Joint.
20, and then 21, I would like step off of it. And like, this is like,
Okay. That's your decision, or that's what the rules are on the...
It's state to state. Like, so so she'll have, at 18, she can have access to it.
Right.
But like, it's just more so like whatever state you're in and like whatever it could change.
So also that was my, I was just talking about this the other day. When do you plan on teaching the kids? Like what age do you plan on teaching the kids about like, we've been building this up for you and this is how it works. And when you turn 18, this is what you'll be set up for. Or is it going to be like they find out when they turn 18? Like, I feel like there's multiple ways to look at it because like some people then bank on that when they get older and then they don't do nothing for the whole time until they turn 18 and then they're just kind of like blowing it off and tricking it and not really like putting themselves in position to like hit the ground running. More of like it's a crutch.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying?
Like, and the thing is it. You know your kids, and so you can decide what would work best because what works one for one won't work for all. But how I look at it is we're having money conversations. It's like my daughter's 4 and she can use a debit card. She can like she can like she can go pay at the till like like so I'm ingraining it to it early, so that way money's not a taboo topic.
Yeah.
And then also you don't go to that like I could just waste the stage, like you're gonna value it because it's been ingrained in you for so long. And like so, and then so she'll know what she has, because like if you want to go work a summer job, you can contribute to it. You can do so. It's like,
right.
Well, I'm still gonna whatever it looks like, I feel like the more comfortable you are with money before it comes.
Okay.
The more.
When did you become comfortable with money?
Probably 26, 28.
Okay. So that's honestly, I feel like a good age.
Yeah.
I feel like some people still in their 30s or even 40s are not truly like comfortable understanding it, managing it, and seeing the picture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's perspective. I mean, when we've seen so much, it gives you like, you got some understanding. Like, when you're talking to somebody and they show you their brokerage account and it's $1 million in there. It's like, oh, okay. So like it exists.
Like, this is real. Right.
So it makes it so tangible that you're like, okay, like even if your everyday life doesn't look like that, you still know it exists. Like
right.
you got the secret, you got the cheat code. Like you're sitting here and nobody else knows this. I mean, they know it, but they don't they didn't see it. They don't, they don't,
I
so
think
it's like that helps.
That's definitely key. Like getting around people and being in the right rooms alone to know that stuff is real, because again, it's like everyday people that are doing this stuff that can build out a solid brokerage, that can build a portfolio, that can have a side hustle that's making some decent bread, that can do all this stuff, and they're not some like big person on the internet doing it that you see and you're like, oh damn, I'll never be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I feel like you have a lot of value to be here talking about this and explaining it from your perspective, because you naturally relate with a lot more people that's watching this video.
And it's more so like, if you don't want to get rich offline, then like getting rich offline by accident is one thing, but if it's like your intention and it's like it's your only sole focus of income, it's extremely hard.
Especially, if you don't know what you're doing and you're not putting yourself in the right spot, like
so like, and
people,
even like
there's so many people that will not make it. It's crazy. It's actually crazy.
But like I just learned it like watching you like in a maneuver through the years, and so it's like having don't get me wrong, having faith in what you got going and your motion and all of that. That's one part. You need that, but like sink or swim, sometimes that works for some people, but it doesn't work for everybody.
No.
And so I think that when you realize like, okay, like you can actually live a comfortable life, a great life outside of social media, is when, like, that was for me. Like I don't, like
you consume a lot of social media, but you don't like post to be an influencer or anything like that, or get brand deals or anything. More just like connection based with people. Is it more of like connecting with people that you know, or are you trying to build a network through social media and business side of it? Like, what's your perspective on how you approach social media? So
social media is a tool. I don't, I see it, but for me, there's it, and like for business and work or whatever, it's not the daily need. Like I'm not a for everybody person kind of business. I'm not, it's just not for everybody. So like traditional marketing where people need social media, you need to get out in front of people. You're selling material items, or you sell them like it's a necessity. So I completely get that. But for me, I like built my life around not needing it. So it's like, I can go on there and post nothing, or I can go on there and post whatever I want to. And I'm not thinking about like, I need these views, I need these, like, I need this, like, I gotta. Exactly. Yeah. And so like, because, and I mean, it's the opposite of what most people do on social media right now. Like, but for me, because I took that pressure off myself, like as I grow and ascend in life, and let's say I go more onto social media, and if it does happen, it does, but if it doesn't, it's like, I'm not putting that as like, I'm not putting social media as a retirement package for me, right, it's like, okay, but if life changes and things, it's like, I would gladly be welcome to it, but it's not like I'm not even putting it in my thought process, because it's like.
So you just mainly be on Instagram and Facebook?
Yeah, I get on Threads. I get
And
on
then
like,
watch YouTube?
Yep. But yeah.
Not TikTok?
Nah.
No TikTok. And then
I mean, I'm
no
on
Snapchat.
I'm on Whatnot after count.
Boy, boy, be on Whatnot shopping, boy.
No, but
get this man a sponsor.
but yeah. So it's like, I think it's where you're at is really like, it's dependent on. I mean, everything's dependent on where you're at.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to let you guys know we have a special deal going on with Apothecary now. So if you use the discount code DNA Show, that's going to get you guys a discount on all your orders from their website. Also, I'm going to have everything linked down below underneath the video and in the pinned item section where you can purchase directly from this video as well. One thing that I love about the Apothecary socks is they have the ISO weave material, and it is so good. It has a great comfort, flex, and even good for me at a size 13. So again, use the discount code DNA Show, and if you ever plan on rocking any socks, make sure you guys tag me on Instagram.
What kind of life, this is like, we're talking about molding that, what kind of life are you trying to create for your kids that you see, the going into high school, becoming adults, like how they are, going into the world?
The goal is to help them become the best version of themselves.
Okay.
So the best thing they could do for the world is to be the best version of them and give it to the world.
Okay.
And so I see it as like, I aid you in that as you discover what that is for you.
Okay.
And so as you figure out, and even what does school look like in 18 years, like what is college going to be like? What is AI going to do? What is all, so but for me, it's like, if I plant the seeds now and the tree isn't needed at the time when it comes around, I'll just reallocate the investment.
So y'all doing sports already?
Yeah, like, so she does gymnastics and all that kind of stuff. And she does play soccer and so she's into that. But
how is that? Like, she likes going?
Yeah.
Okay.
But for me, that's another thing. Like, I want her to be involved in all of that, but it's not the only out. Where we felt like we had to make it, and sometimes, carrying that kind of pressure. Like, it's like, it's going to be, if this is what your passion is, we pursue it to the fullest extent.
Right.
But don't feel like you got to save us with this passion.
Yeah.
You're not,
like, just do it out of love.
100%. Like, do it out of the fact that this is what you want to do, not like you got to get us out the hood.
So as a father, see what's going on, being married, the statistics of all that stuff, and staying together, being a black man in America, like all that stuff combined, right? There's a lot of pressures and stereotypes and everything, right? What do you think men in general are struggling with the most right now that are, in that same category, that are fathers trying to figure it out?
I think it's inflation.
Okay.
So if let's say you have this burning desire to want to provide and be all of that, it all comes at the highest price point that has ever been in our lifetime in the States. So it's like, so then that comes with added pressure. And then you look at like, stagnant wages. So it's like, okay, like you want to go work the job to go make the money to do all of that stuff. But now you have to work double the hours to even, meet the bare minimum sometimes to then not be able to even enjoy any of it,
And that's where I think, for me, I'm pretty solid with implementing systems and strategies to optimize the time, the payout, and compounding whatever it is you get in return from it. Because if you don't have that in place and you do have to do those things, the extra things to still get by, like now you're still running on the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where a lot of people are stuck in that spot, and they can't, like you said, you took $50. That's not a big ask. Can you give me $50 a month and start this investment? Can you give me $100 a month and start this investment? If you have enough money to cover you buying 1 or 2 pairs of shoes a month, are you willing to sacrifice one of those pairs of shoes this month to put yourself in a better position in life? So I feel like that's a great definition of it. And there's like, now the mindset behind it, like where are your priorities fully? Like when you really look at the bigger pictures, and I know it's like a lot with right now with what people want, and you're like, well, I've been working hard, I've been busting my ass to try to do all this stuff, so I need to like get something there to reward myself, and then it's like slowly hurting your future.
Yeah.
Not by a lot, but like with compounding, it can be a lot.
Yeah. It's all of it actually. It's like you can still you could be doing that knowingly and still do it. Like you're like, okay, like I know the small compound effect of what it is, but I've just thought of like, I go through periods where it's like, is this helping my future self? So it's like, whatever I'm doing, is it like, is this helping what I'm playing for, like the end goal and all of that?
So whenever you spend money on anything, is that what you're thinking of? Or is it kind of like periods of time that you think
today, yes. It used to be periodically.
Okay, so when did it go from periodically? When did periodically start? Because a lot of people don't even get to that point where it's periodically. And then where it goes to the phase of like, everything I spend, I'm thinking about this.
So periodically it is like, okay, like it's when you get married. Like, okay, like I can, like I'm periodically checking in because I have, other people to consider now, or another person to consider. So now it's like, okay, like you have, like, well, you don't have to, but you become aware if you're looking to in that state where it's like, okay, like I'm active, like, and this is not everybody. Some people are aware from the very beginning, but like if you're not, you're like, okay, like.
But then there's also, again, being aware and then not doing nothing about it.
But I mean, but even just to be aware, it'll start chipping away at you.
For sure.
Like now you can consciously, but then it's like once you start to have like a family and you start to expand, and you start to, get assets and all this stuff, now you become fully aware. You should want to.
Okay.
Because now you're like, okay, this is where it's like.
So you would say like the past like 5 years, maybe like since the pandemic?
I would say leading into it.
Okay.
And then that lets you be
like
hyper.
amplified everything.
100%. And then like with all the investments and the low home interest rates and all the like stuff that was going on, it just amplified how quick I had to learn it. I'm like, okay, it's something new every day. Like, and so I'm like, how do you maximize this timeline? Because, like the stocks returns, that's when I started buying stocks every single day. Like I would just wake up like and buy every single day.
Yeah, I remember you had that for a while. You was like, bro, I'm just buying stock every day.
Yeah, and
I'm not spending a crazy amount. I'm just buy a little bit, buy a little bit, buy a little bit.
But I was just using it as like reserves. Like it was like, and then I'm like, the returns are so crazy. It's like I would rather put my rainy day money here.
Cause it becomes so much more. I swear, it's like down there like a video game, bro. That's what I've been saying before. Like, as you unlock these parts of your mindset and everything, it's like literally adding a piece to your character in a video game. And you unlock that skill, and then you like level that character up and rank it up to get it to 99 or 100. And it's like when you start seeing that compound effect of like consistency and getting into the market and building that stuff up and giving it time, even like 6 months, like just seeing that, bro. You know how I always do my thing where I throw $100 on like a stock that I'm like interested in, so it doesn't go out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. But then I typically like find a lot of good stuff. Yeah. So now I just looked at one that I bought 2 weeks ago, and it's up 160%. And I only put $100 on it, and I'm like, bro,
it's a good 220.
But you know what I'm saying? But it's still cool because I'm like, I'd rather learn through that and then say, okay, now I can invest more into it or whatever, or like see, is this the top or whatever. But I'm putting myself out and at least putting something in it. Sometimes I'll put $10, but usually I was like, my 100 is my threshold. I want to get to the point where I'm like, which there's way too many stocks. But like, if I'm like, okay, I'll throw at least 1,000 on it. That way, like, okay, now we bubble up a little bit more and do something. But
makes a difference.
I think, just finding that consistency in that and understanding when you know what's right and you know what's wrong and you still choose the wrong. And if you can eliminate the wrong or the less right, whatever word you want to call it, as much as possible, it will then compound faster on the other side, which is crazy. Like, even if you're going 50-50, doing the right, doing what's wrong, or 60-40, like, even that 10% shift can make such a drastic change.
Yeah, and it makes a difference because it's like, even with the investing side, it's like, it wasn't because I was investing, I wasn't spending my money too. It was like, I'm paying myself first, and then I'm spending all the rest of the money and allocating it where it has to go. And, spend where, so it's like, when you start seeing it like, okay, well, I'll just like, I put it in perspective. I'm like, okay, you got a power bill, right, for your house. Mm-hmm. I'm like, every single month you pay them hundreds of dollars. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like they should get paid before you get paid?
Right.
Out of the work that you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not saying go late on your bills, but I'm just saying, if you allocate money towards yourself and you're investing in your family or whatever, you'll figure out how to pay the bill. But if you don't, you may pay the bill, but you won't figure out how to, you know, like most people don't figure out how to do the investing on the back end because they paid all the bills. But if you pay yourself first and then start paying bills, you'll figure out how to make up the difference and whatever that looks like. But now at least you're getting something in the market, opposed to like, I'll start, you know, investing when I can afford to. It's not, prices aren't going up.
Right. It's just going to get worse. And that people always say that. And I'm like, there's no way you're telling me as a grown adult you can't find a way to get $100 to get something started and just see how it works.
Well, and it's
like,
it's sometimes
you got so many material items around your house alone. Just sell something that you have sitting around that hasn't been touched in years. Like, that's, everybody has that. We grow up in America. I mean, come on.
But I think what it is it's exposure.
Yeah.
So it's like if you live in an environment where you've never seen a brokerage account, and you live, and then no one's not even encouraging you, just no one's not even, you know, just not a conversation. Now it feels like an unknown gamble. So if it's a gamble, you know they'll take it. But since it's unknown, now it's okay. Well, what does that come with, and what does that look? You know, and it's like there's 1,000,001 questions. But it's like, you know, if it was an everyday conversation and everybody talked about it around you, and it felt weird not to have a brokerage account, or it felt weird not to, you know, like,
right.
You know, it's like, okay, now you become the outlier. But when you're the outlier for the good side of it, it makes it, you know, it's like, it's hard to take that leap.
So I'm looking it up right now because this made me think about it. 39% of black households are invested in the stock market. And almost 70% of white households are invested in the stock market.
Yeah. And I mean, it's exposure.
Right.
And it's also, it's like, when you look at it, you're looking at like, it's so many combined issues that it's like, okay, it just trickles up to like now, I don't even have time to get exposure because I'm, you know.
And then you get discouraged as you get older because you feel like you're too late, but then you forget that like you're trying to build this legacy for something that's bigger than you.
Well, not everybody. And that's what I realized. That's one realization I had. Not everybody has the bigger picture as their care or focus. Some people are for them and them only. And
they'll forever be that way, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, and are they right or wrong? Who am I to say?
Right.
But for me, being a legacy person and thinking bigger picture, and you have to sacrifice it.
But coming from a family man perspective, I'm like, how do you just be for yourself at that point? Like, why do you?
I was people like that all the time.
Like, why do you get married? Why do you have kids?
That's a great question. And I can't speak for them, but I think it's like it. Who knows? But I do know that it exists, and some people don't like it. And it's for me, it just doesn't make sense because it's like I did this and took on the responsibility that came with it and wanted more.
Right.
Like I've seen more for us, so I couldn't see it the other way. You know,
right.
like I don't see how you can see it, but it happens.
So what does paint the picture of legacy? What does that look like?
It looks like something outliving you. There's a quote that says, like, you know, you plant the seed today, but you may not live to see it, you know, at its fullest potential. And that's what it is. It's more so like, okay, I have children who someday may have children, if not whichever, you know, but it'll continue on, like whatever I put into the world. So it's like, okay, like I show them who I am. They show me who they, you know, they become who they are. And now they live out their lives, and then they affect all the people. And so it's like, it's the seed that grows. So it's like, it's just the seeds that I planted through them and through the world and all these other things. And then, you know, having some money makes it last. So it's like that. It's as unfortunate as it may sound, you just, if you want it to, you know, if you want to keep it sustaining and you want to create something everlasting, you need some money behind it. And so that's where you tie it in. It's like, you know, have a mission that you stand for and what you want it to be about, and then put the money behind it.
So there's always a teetering line of people that want to be like, financially secure and they're okay, and there's other people that's like trying to get wealthy, right? Which one are you on, and what does wealth look like to you?
I would say, I feel like impact and responsibility and all of those things are the big and driver factors, not like a dollar amount. And so it's like even like control, like, you know, and it sounds kind of weird, but like a lot of things we go through, we have to go through other people because they control industries and control these things. And so how much control can I, you know, get to for the betterment, you know, like how can I, okay, if, you know, you have to do something, like, you know, whatever it is,
Right.
it's like, okay, how do I get some control in that industry or whatever that looks like and have some impact? So now all of those barriers that we dealt with, we could just go be the change.
Right.
So it's like, so I think that's it. But I mean, the more I feel like I embark on that, the more that comes with it. So then, you know, so it's like, you know, I don't have
more responsibility with other exterior people that's not in your family, taking care of environments, communities, whatever.
For sure. But I feel like, and I realize like the more I do of that, the more the money comes.
Right.
And so it's like, you know, I don't even want to cap what it can be because I may need these large amounts because I have so much, you know, to be responsible for. And so, you know, I don't put a cap on it, but it's like, you know, I'll live accordingly, you know, as I.
How do you normalize the thought of $1 million and explain to people that $1 million is not a lot?
I guess it depends on if we're talking what the million is for, you know. If it's you gross $1 million, you net $1 million, you inherit $1 million, you know, like you got $1 million tax free, and it's like I think that all plays a factor, but it's where you're at in life. So if you know like, you know, you can live, if you live in a small town in, you know, the Midwest and homes are still $30,000, that $1 million will last your lifetime. You could
Depending on how you live.
I mean, you know what? Because you think housing is your most expensive.
Their mortgage might be like in the 2000s.
But I'm saying
like just pay it all.
Yeah,
off,
for sure.
right.
Like so, like
just pay taxes.
Could you imagine?
Utilities,
You can get a new construction for $100,000.
Yeah.
And you got $900 tax free that you could just, you know, live off.
Right.
So but here, you know, it's not the same. You know, obviously the house is going to cost you $600,000, $500,000 just to even, you know, get your entry level starter home, right? And so now, you know, but I think it's perspective on like where you're at. So like, but for here, I think it's a great goal to put on the, you know, board if that's what you see fit. But I wouldn't let it stop you from going for more if it's, you know,
so
bandwidth.
It says average household in America spends $6,500 a month, $78,000 annually. But if you break it down by household, if you do a single person, it's like close to $5,000, and then a family is usually around $8,800 to $10,000. So we'll say $10,000 a month for life expenses. So that's $100,000 a year. This is on average around America. So if you had $100K a year that you had to spend, plus actually that's more than that. That's $120,000 a year, right? So that's not even 10 years that you could live off the $1 million.
But see,
if you didn't have investment, if you didn't have other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like putting in place all that stuff and just living regular, even if you inherited $1 million, it's not a lot. It don't last. Like you have to make it work. You have to put stuff in position.
For sure. But
so I think people see it as like, oh, this is a lot of money. And it's like, but really it's not.
Well, and I think we're skewed by city living, but you know, most of the country is country. And so, you know, like...
But that's what I'm saying. That's a minority. That's a opposite.
You know,
that's why you go with the average of that. And
you know,
say, hey,
but
the average.
I think like the...
Because I'm not going to talk about somebody living in a country on a farm that got...
Yeah, no, for sure.
Paid off house, granddad started... He built it with his hands and they don't got to pay nothing. Like, that's not going to...
But I think we have, in the country, we have so many high city costs, like living, that it skews the lower, cheaper, like the mid-tier. Like, so I think like... There's a lot of people who live in a mid-tier living cost. It's expensive to them per se, but when you you know, it's not, you know, a San Francisco rent price. And so it's like, I think if you're in that middle tier, I think the middle tier or below, you can make $1 million last. But I think if once you get to any type of, like
That's
traditional
with
living,
or without investing.
I mean, if you do the 4% rule, you can put the $1 million in and get your 40,000. So I mean, with that,
Right.
So, I mean, also, how old are you? That's another question.
Right.
So if you're 20 and you got to make it stretch,
They're gonna make it.
I mean, it's all these like nuances. Like, are you working or are you just gonna take that and not do nothing? And so it's like it's all the little things. But yeah, no, I mean, granted, I just don't want to belittle $1 million, but I also want to show that it
you have
it's
to use
expensive.
it. You have to use it correctly.
Exactly.
The money has to be a tool at the end of the day, no matter how much it is.
For sure.
But I think for some reason there's this thing around 100K, $1 million, 10 million, 100 million, and then a billionaire, right? Like those are like the numbers that most people talk about, right? Typically,
like they fall in some category,
right?
Yeah.
You know, oh, you make 100K a year, trying to make $1 million in a year, or be a millionaire, or on the road to 10 million. Now I'm gonna go to scale to 100 million.
Yeah.
So I feel like those are the things, but a lot of people are in that. The vast majority, right, are going from that, trying to get the first 10K, trying to get to 100K, and then there's that gap, trying to get to the mill, doing all that stuff, and then that's where everybody has the struggle. They fall off, whatever. They don't understand how to implement it, where to put it. Like you said, like you follow this rule. Like, what is the 4% rule? Explain that to the people. Like, they may not know.
So even like what the 4% rule is if you take $1 million, invest it, and you live off the 4% that is paying annually, which would be the 40,000, and then your principal of $1 million never leaves. So you would essentially just be living off the interest of it. And so that's but like I was saying, 4% is like a high yield savings account.
What's a high yield savings? So I would recommend putting that into a dividend stock that has opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
Maybe like SCHD or something like that. That way you're getting that's like 3.5%. It pays out every 30 days.
Yeah.
You get your monthly dividend off of it, and you got one or two options: reinvest it, which and let it compound, or live off of that, and you're basically getting what inflation is.
Yeah.
So you're like getting nothing in return. You're actually going to be losing more in the long run when you run the math, because inflation is going to be beating that every year. And people always talk about that too, which I was just talking about somebody else the other day. I'm like, people are like, oh, I got a high. I'm not a fan of high yield savings accounts at all, because I'm like, bro, you could park the money in there for a bit. Like if you got, if you're in between plays or something, maybe a couple months, 6 months max. But like, I wouldn't put all my money to hold in there. That's not investing. It's literally competing with or losing to inflation alone.
Oh no, you're investing. You're not receiving a benefit.
Yeah.
So like
You're giving the bank the money to invest.
They're taking it, they're putting it out there, getting 20%, 15 on these credit cards, whatever they're doing with the money, and you get 4. And so
And they be like, I'm winning. I'm like, no, look at the inflation rate.
Now, like,
it's the same thing.
It's like it's tangible cash, and it's high yield next. So it's like if you got to store values of money, it's like, okay, if you have cash in your safety deposit box, that one you're losing the most on. And then if you go 4%, at least you're almost covering it. So now you're not losing the full inflationary rate to your money. Yeah. So it's like
you're like breaking even basically.
It's like if you need to have, like okay, you feel comfortable having some cash.
But that's also breaking even without spending the money.
Yeah.
Because if you spend the money, then you're losing.
Yeah, for sure. But this is true. But I think it's like, if let's say it hits the fan, right? Like it just goes crazy, right? And they freeze our brokerages. Like, so, it's like,
this digital world's crazy.
Man. I mean, yet again, the high yield probably gonna freeze too. So,
right.
But that's
and then you're only protected for what, 250,000?
If it's FDIC covered. And so, I mean, I don't know if every institution isn't. So you can, there's
you
all
might not
that,
even be protected.
But
you need to go look at your bank and understand if it is or not, because there's limits on that. And people think that they can have a bunch of money in there and then it's not even fully protected. So if something happens,
especially like
you only
fintech,
get up to a certain amount.
Like fintech companies, they got the bank accounts and stuff. Some of them aren't. So then it's just like, you're just trusting them. But that's what I'm saying. So it's, I don't know. I mean, yet again, if it's always these like what if scenarios that you think about. But if it's like, okay, like I want 6 months reserves, tangible cash. I mean, a high yield is not terrible, but especially if you have your money invested and you already, it's like if you're making these crazy returns or these returns at all, it's like, okay, like it's essentially like dollar cost average. You're like, okay,
I wouldn't put my most in there though.
No.
And I wouldn't use that as a thought or form of investing.
No, but like,
in
okay.
any sense. Like I would use that as, like you said, if it was some rainy day bread that you left out and it's a very minimal part of your portfolio, you know, like literally under 10%, probably I would be.
Even if it's like a tax payment account.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you got to have, you know, so it's like, there's ways you could utilize it to where it's like, okay, like I have to pay these things out. So at least, you know.
Yeah, let it park here and do its thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay, I had some other stuff I wanted to ask before we get out of here. What's a harsh truth that men's need to hear right now?
Unfortunately, it ain't getting no easier. Look, I wouldn't even lie to you. But it doesn't mean you still can't win, and
Right.
you know, it won't work out for you. It's just societal and everything around it. I don't see how, you know, there's not gonna be handouts. There's not gonna be, you know, like, and so you really gotta lock in, like, you know, and really put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no saving grace right now. That's, you know, coming to.
So,
You know,
somebody that's listened to this, they're in that position, new dad, about to be a dad, millennial, got a job, trying to figure it out, man, they just got married, maybe just bought their first house, whatever, kind of in that same, similar scenario you're in, but don't got it figured out all the way. What's the blueprint that you would give them? Like, all right, this is the first year, you're trying to flip the switch. What are the things you're going to tell them?
I would start with a quote, and I would tell them, stay small enough, long enough, you'll be big enough soon enough, which means learn to live below your means soon, as quick as you can. And that doesn't mean, like, find your means and then trickle that line of like, all right, this is, you know, it's like, I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm okay, but I'm nowhere near, you know, like what I could afford right now.
Right.
Because once you start there and your living expenses and your cost of living isn't consuming you, you can see clearer. You can see what you know, so that might mean you got a kid on the way, but you got to move into a studio for the year. Okay, you might got to, and you make more, you can go, but you don't know what it looks like to provide for someone else while also trying to provide for you, while, you know, so it's like, so you got to give yourself some buffer space.
Okay.
Because expenses are going to come, things come up and all of that. And so like, if you can operate without a sense, you're urgent because you want things to happen for you, but you're not desperate.
Okay.
Like if you don't have to get, you know, like if you can, you're like, okay, like I wasn't expecting that bill, but okay, it ain't clear.
But it ain't gonna hurt me because I'm ready for it. Yeah.
100%. And then
I feel like you should have that unexpected buffer for whatever your monthly expenses is, maybe like 10-15% prepared for every month, just in case something happens, blowing out tire or whatever it may be.
And even if it's really starting with that rainy day money, because then that goes over everything. It's like, oh wait, the bill is double this month and we don't got it. It's like, okay, so it's like you just really create that cushion of whatever is comfortable for you, and then you're not operating out of like you sick, but you can't call out of work because you can't afford. You know what I'm saying? Like you're sick, and you're like,
I gotta get paid.
I gotta go. Like, but thinking about like, oh wait, we're okay for today. Like I can actually, you know, or you know, like like missing events that you know, you're like, well, I gotta work because you know, and it's like, don't get me wrong, work comes up all the time. You gotta miss whatever, but it's like, you know, if you had the option. And the work wasn't the reason, you know, like that dollar that you were going to get or money you're going to get from them wasn't the only incentive. Would you go over this, you know? Yeah. So I think that's it. It's really like you gotta stay low, keep your overhead low as can be, as expensive as it's ever been. But you keep it as low as it can been, and then you come out of that with a savings. You come out of that feeling more, you know, you get some pay increase, you start making more money, you do more sales, whatever your industry is. Now you feel okay. Now you can increase your expenses because you know what things cost. Right. You know, like to the extent of like, okay, I feel comfortable. I've been paying rent for this long. I know, you know, like you get some comfort under you and you get some savings under you, and you know, and if you put a couple dollars in investments, that helps you get some.
I think the investment is mandatory
for sure.
But like, there's 3 pillars to it. when you got extra money coming in, you need to either be preparing to invest into a new property. You need to be either putting money into the stock market or investing into your business to make more money from your business. And whenever you have any excess cash that's left over each month, it has to go into that and aggressively be trying to build that up, paying down credit. But I think even if you had an extra $100, I would like focus on, I need to pay down credit, but also I gotta at least take 20 or 30 bucks from this and put it into the market too. Yeah. And eventually it will pass the other one. You're aggressively paying something down, but you got to be working on the stuff. I think a lot of people go for this, pay off all my credit, do all this stuff, or get my debt cleared, but they're not building the other stuff on the side. Yeah. And they don't account for what $20 can do, what $50 can do, what $100 can do, how it can compound. Like, it's crazy to see. I literally put $100 in one of my brokerages just because I wanted to set up a different one and to see what happened. And I had put it in for a year. It was $100 a month. And then I stopped after that, like a year and a half in. And that was a few years ago. And it's already close to $4,000 now. Yeah. And it was like some random thing I was doing in the background. And it's like when you create that security, it helps so much more. So it's important to get all that stuff done that you're saying. And I also think it's important to focus on getting invested into something, building your business or getting another property, whatever it is. And people just underestimate how much a little can do. Like, it's so, like, when you have nothing in the market, when you have nothing invested into real estate and other assets, you're going to get nothing in return. You're going to just keep doing what you're doing. But sustaining.
It's an effect of, the system. It's like, okay, well, if everyone's doing well, but someone's not, right. And so it's not for no reason. But I think with all the tools at hand, social media, AI, and all these things, it's like you just have to actively not want to no more. Yeah. At a time,
it's literally right in front of your face.
At a time, we were boxed out. We couldn't, go to school. It was all the things that we couldn't do. Yeah. But now it's like, okay, you can independently go do this. Like, there's nothing out there that you want to do. I mean, as far as like whatever the industry is, whatever it is you're trying to do, like you can go find out about something.
Like, you used to have to call somebody and figure out them purchasing the stocks for you and doing all the stuff. Now you could just click and swipe up on the phone and like have an order go through and have automatic payments directly coming from your account every month to create dollar cost averaging. Like, I mean, and it can literally happen in seconds.
And that's what I mean by like paying yourself first. Mm-hmm. So like, if you, like I said, like if you make it automated, so if you get paid on the 1st and 15th, and if you make it automated, now you say, okay, like the day the check comes out, the withdrawal comes out, so I don't even recognize it.
Right.
And you don't,
so it's part of my new norm.
You can't miss something you don't have. Mm-hmm. And it's not like you don't have it. It's just going to a different bank account that happens to be paying potentially better.
And then that's what I always tell people. You need to race to 100,000 on a portfolio, right? That's the first step, and then it'll scale faster past that to get to $1 million. But
I think that first 1,000 is important.
The first 1,000 for sure.
Like, because most people,
and that's what I tell people. Okay, race to 1,000. Mm-hmm. You got shoes in your collection, right? Let's assume $200 a pair of shoes. Just sell 5 pairs, put it in the market, let it grow, do its thing, work in the background. Yeah. You still got 20 pairs in your collection. Who's it gonna hurt? Nobody. You're gonna be happy later. You're gonna get more addicted to doing that than buying the shoes.
Yeah, especially if you invest into like these known companies and ETFs and things that are like, safer. It's
that literally companies use for their own retirements with their own employees. Well, so it's like the best, safest route, the strongest. Yeah. And anything's a risk, and I get all that same old shit. But at the end of the day, you got to invest in something. You got to take a risk if you want to level up.
I mean, yeah. And honestly, you gotta put it in perspective. Like, let's say stocks plummet.
Mm-hmm. Buy more.
Well, no. Like, let's say it all. One day we wake up and it all wipe out, right?
Right.
It affects your daily life in so much that you're not even gonna realize. Like, your TV's not gonna cut on, the power. Like, everything that your daily life, your car. Like, bro, after stock plummets, that means the business goes out of business. Mm-hmm. That means my computer system, my car won't cut on. Right. Who's there? So it's all these like. So it's like, it's what I call it, it's a hedge on life. Because if you have to live and pay everybody, you pay all these bills, right? And so they're getting paid a few different ways. So it's like, okay, well, the bills are going to get paid.
Man.
And if, let's say, like, even if it all goes belly up, my stocks is the last of my worry. My quality of living is going to be number one.
Oh, for sure.
Like, what do I wake up to every day, and what do I have to live? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And so, like, that, so it's like, the stocks is just a hedge, really. It's not like I'm banking that because I know how, no one wants to fold and how the system works and how, okay, well, you keep getting bigger because of, all of this stuff. So, okay, well, like, I don't want to miss out on that. But, like, if it goes completely out the, it's like, okay, well, like, how's my quality of living, though? Mm-hmm. So that's why,
because at that point, you're like, how do we live off grid?
Bro,
we ain't got no lights. We need solar panels. Like, trying to figure it out.
If the top 10 stock companies go to zero,
right,
we all got problems.
iPhones cooked,
bro,
everything.
Bro, what? We
all the computer chips, you name it.
So it's,
gas.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's like, and that's why, like, even I pick a few individual stocks, but I don't, like, if they're not pivotal to our like, if Microsoft goes, oh, we got an issue.
Right.
If Google leaves,
right,
bro, like, okay. Now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like...
Google's popping right now, by the way, for the people that are feeling like you're late to the party. Trust me, they still got some room to grow.
But yeah, like, so it's like I'm hedging with these industries that where it's like it affects our daily life so much if they go out that, that's the hedge. It's like, okay, I'm hedging that we're going to stick around because you matter to so many households in this country, in this world. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, but...
It makes sense. Yeah, I feel like... you feel like we covered enough for the millennial dad life?
I mean, it's ever evolving, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I think you you really gotta be willing to learn, because it's like this. It's a whole new era. It's a whole new, everything's so different right now that it's like you got to learn by trial and error. You got to take some advice, but most of it's just really gonna go figure it, like trying.
Yeah.
Because it's like, like...
Don't be scared. And oh man, I hear a lot of men tell me this when I'm talking to them, like in the community and stuff. Everything's on the line. I can't afford to make a mistake. I'm scared to invest because of that. Oh. So they're right there. They may or may not know what's going on, but that is what I hear a lot.
That's the thing. Every day you wake up, everything's on the line.
Every day.
So there is no difference. It's more so you have to be so confident in the research you've done that you're just taking a gamble on yourself. Mm-hmm. And so if it's like, if you have to be willing to gamble on yourself, your education, and bettering you to be able to make that jump. Because, like I said, no one's coming to save you.
Right.
It's not getting easier. And so it's like, I know it's scary. Like, oh, this is my, last $10,000, last $1,000, whatever. But it's not going to get you that far anyway.
Right.
I mean, as far as like, like.
And they could teach you what you needed to then unlock the last piece to the puzzle.
Yeah. And it's even if you're just getting in the market with that money.
Yep.
Or you're just doing small investments just to understand it. It's like something beats nothing, because now you can, you put $10 in and it went down a little bit and it went up and okay, like I get it.
You can see how it works.
Sure.
It's so much different than watching somebody else doing it and all that stuff. Like, you got to get in there and see how it works. So whenever, I always tell people, whatever you're willing to lose, and they're like, I can't lose nothing. I'm like, well, then you're not going to make nothing either.
Yeah.
But whenever you're willing to lose, like, that's what you're paying the cost of entry to get into whatever it is that you're doing. And then obviously, we're here to help guide people through that so they don't make those same mistakes we made and can get there faster and not have as many bumps in the road along the way.
But losing some money will teach you something.
For sure.
So that
you got to do it. Oh man, I've lost so much money.
But I think that's it. It's like losing money and then not being in the world. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. Like it's sometimes it's tragic. Like it does hurt. Mm-hmm. But if you got air, you got action. That's what somebody always says.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you literally can wake up the next day and it'd be the day to change everything for you.
Yep.
And so it's like, but you just got to keep putting that best foot forward and actually trying. Like what is it? What does that mean for you? Who knows? You figure it out. Mm-hmm. But it's like, okay, like I'm actively, it's like, so you start where you at, you take that and learn something with it, and better you and better. And it's like, be the best version of you. If you best version of you,
you got to be willing to take a risk at some point.
Right. I mean,
at the end of the day, you got to be willing to take a risk. Yeah. Everything's a risk, so risk it on yourself.
For sure. I mean,
that's it. Risk it for the biscuit. That's what we always say.
Who gonna risk it for you?
Man, ain't nobody else. They're barely gonna be there anyway, so you're gonna go ahead and figure it out. Hop into the community. I know JQ's in the community too. He don't ever be showing up in there though. I gotta get him to pop in.
He don't
more.
know that. I'm a fly on the wall.
He be up in there watching. Okay,
Like,
so yeah, hop in the community. He's also in there if you want to ask him some questions. We gotta get you. Well, maybe we could do a live event in there, and we can do a Q&A. That'd be good. We do those with the community every month. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that follow button. Leave me a 5-star review on the podcast and platforms. I'll see you guys in the next one.